Hello and welcome. Welcome back to Around the Town with Mark. I am Mark Whalen, your host, and we are always glad that you tune in and visit with us. Well, here we are, it's spring, coming on summer, finally. We've waited a long time for it. And of course, it's the time of the year where everyone's starting to look for fun things to do for the summer season, especially for the kids. Once the kids get out of school, got to find something really fun for them to do to keep them busy. Well, today we're going to talk about something that you're really going to want to do for the kids. And everybody loves aviation, and of course we have a great airport here in Groton. And there's a program that is the Connecticut ACE Academy, which is a summer camp for kids all about aviation. My guest today is going to tell us all there is to know about this great program. So allow me to introduce Stuart Schreck. Stuart.
Hi, Mark.
Welcome to Around the Town with Mark.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself to the audience as to who and what you are, and tell us an overview of the Academy, and then we'll get into some details.
Okay. I've been a fifth grade teacher for a number of years in the town of Ledyard, Gales Ferry precisely. I've been working in the public school system for 41 years. I'm retired in the classroom, but I also do after-school programs now in aerospace science at a couple of schools in Ledyard, and that would be for 4th through 6th graders.
Good.
And I've been doing that for about 20 years now. While I was teaching, and also when I retired, I have continued to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and beyond that, I now run the ACE Academy. ACE stands for the Aviation Career Education Program.
Okay.
It's an FAA-sponsored program. There are ACE Academies in many states around the country. Not all, but many.
Mm-hmm.
And I run the only Connecticut version of that. And I've been doing that. This is the 7th season that we're starting. So it's been very popular, and
that's great.
It is fun.
Yeah.
I have to guarantee you it's going to be fun.
Well, starting out with fun, everyone can see that we've got lots of fun toys, if you will, that become real toys, correct? I mean,
yes.
So tell us a little bit about when the program is and what age groups and that type of thing you would be looking for.
Okay. The program is for students going to 6th through 9th grade.
Okay.
We take small group sizes, roughly about 10 to 12 participants, and I run 2 separate weeks.
Oh, okay.
The end of July 29th through August 3rd is the first week, from Monday through Friday, and August 5th through 9th is the second week. The program is from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock.
Oh, great. Great. So it is a full week of.
It's a full week, and we're busy all the time.
Yeah.
No downtime, but it's all fun.
Oh, great, great. Well, I mean, you know, it's a great opportunity for both boys and girls, of course, to learn all about aviation. So tell us a little bit about what exactly do they learn, and what kind of curriculum do you have?
Sure. Okay. Well, yeah, I've been trained through a lot of NASA programs throughout the country. Starting way back in the summer of 2000, when NASA sent me down to Kennedy Space Center to meet a bunch of other teachers and see behind the scenes, NASA being not just space, but also, aeronautical, activities and research. So we do a lot of aeronautical science. So we have, STEM, or actually STEAM, science, technology. There's math, there's art.
Oh, great.
And a lot of people leave out the art. I mean, aviation art is another career and another hobby.
Really?
And there are aviation art contests for students around the world that students could participate in. Anyway, so we do aeronautical science. How do planes fly, for example? So we'll look at the various parts of an airplane, learn the language of aeronautics, so we know what the parts are called, and we can identify those. That's how we start off our week.
Okay.
With the vocabulary, and we learn about the science of it.
What makes a plane fly and stay in the air, and
exactly right.
The basics of
we learn aeronautical history. A little over 100 years right now.
Oh, beautiful book.
It's existed, and thanks to folks like Orville and Wilbur Wright, who started way back when their dad brought home a rubber band powered model, a toy of a helicopter back in those days.
Really?
And this is, in the early 1900s.
I didn't know that about them.
This is a modern commercial version of that. Of course, it wasn't made of plastic, but it was rubber band powered, did have a propeller, and
Really?
they would wind it and let it go vertically. And that toy is one of the things that stimulated them to go on and learn more about aviation. They played with it. They tried to modify it, to change, variables and see how that would affect, its motion until they made it too big and it wouldn't work anymore. But that was the beginning. The toy is where it started, way back when they were between 7 and 10 years old and so on.
Wow.
So that was a prime example of that. And I share that story with the students, and we build little toys because hopefully that's going to stimulate the activity and their interests.
Well, yeah, and it's a great place to start, is to where aviation started, and with the kids. And I think it's fascinating to think that this turned into, in really 100
Things
years.
like this, or more.
100 years is not that long to think that we now have airplanes that carry hundreds and hundreds of people around the world.
Sure, definitely.
And that's a lot of progress in 100 years, really.
Certainly, certainly.
When
It's
you
amazing.
think about that. Yeah.
Talking about toys, paper planes, who doesn't like paper airplanes?
Oh,
right?
I was looking at this one thinking that's how you really make a paper airplane. Is that one right
Well,
there?
the kids know a lot of ways of making it, and I'll
Yeah.
share some other ways also. But there's a lot to paper airplanes. And you'll find me sometimes, in my driveway busy playing around with paper planes because it's a lot of fun for kids and adults
So
watching it.
you can really teach people how to make paper airplanes that really fly,
Certainly.
which is so much fun. And
There-
what an inexpensive toy, because you could make this, fly it, you could decorate it, the kids could have fun coloring it or doing whatever they want with it. I mean, that's just
And that
great.
costs nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Just your time and your involvement.
And maybe some crayons or a few sheets of paper, and you're there.
Right. I had a student in my 5th grade program who loved making paper planes, and at recess time he would always be outside playing with his paper planes. He went on to college into aeronautical science, but he started way back then.
Well, I hope there's a lot of parents watching this right now saying, that's what I can do to keep the kids busy for a few hours.
Sure, sure.
Yay!
Scraps of paper.
Scraps of
Right.
paper and a crayon, and I've got some peace and quiet.
There's a well-known fellow, Ken Blackburn, who wrote this paper airplane book. And I met him years ago at a conference, and he told me he's an aerospace engineer, works for NASA, but he said he had his most interesting times, most fun times traveling the world and meeting people through paper airplanes.
Really? Oh,
And
that's great.
He was an award winner, a Guinness record holder in paper planes for a number of years.
Any idea do you know where people could go to find a book like this? Online on Amazon or in your local toy store?
For sure you could find it online. There are plenty of paper airplane books at any bookstore.
Okay. Okay.
So it should be easy.
So it's
But
easy,
that's
it's easy
an
to
excellent
find.
one.
Yeah.
And it shows his Guinness model, which anybody could duplicate.
Oh, wow. This book is wow. Where was this when I was a kid? This is so colorful and so beautiful. Oh, this is great for the kids because it's
a lot
also
of fun.
it gives them a visual exercise, and they're reading, they're working their hands, their skills. So it's a great tool for kids to learn all kinds of different things, not just how to make a kite or a paper airplane.
Right. So in our program, aside from learning the basics, we start out by building models. And just to show you an example here, here's a model that they might build. It's a rubber band powered airplane.
Oh, that's great.
But But aside from learning how it flies, the pre-engineering activities that are involved, attention to detail, focus, accuracy. Many kids will make models and they have globs of glue all over the place. So we talk about how do you put glue on so you don't have a mess. Aside from it not looking good, it adds extra weight. How do you measure very accurately? All that technology today is based on superb and accurate measurements. And that fine detail, we have to pay attention to that. And so we focus on that, how to cut paper straight.
That's great.
An airplane is a piece of art. I mean, if you look at it, the technology and the design, the coloring schemes, they're beautiful. So it's art. And so we focus on that aspect in addition to the science and as we continue with our construction.
So,
and then we'll test them.
So again, there you go with another tool for the kids to learn and develop their motor skills and their, like you said, they're precise, like cutting and doing all those types of things. It's yet another layer of learning.
Right, and I think we have some photos we could show.
Yeah, let's have the control room put up some photos and we'll go through those, and you can tell us about what are we seeing.
So there's the first day, and students are busy actually building a model. In this case, it's a lightweight cardboard catapult launched, glider. Okay. And the students are busy measuring, cutting, and gluing, and we focused on how precisely to do all that. And then after we do that, we go to a local park, and often it's Washington Park in Groton. Okay. And the kids get to actually fly it and test it, and then they could make some changes if they're available. And if it doesn't, get damaged by extreme wind, which sometimes happens. But everything is fixable.
Sure,
that's the fun with building models out of tissue paper, balsa, and cardstock. You can always fix it. And that's what the Wright brothers did all the time. They had numerous accidents with the wind destroying their planes, and they were always able to fix it. So you just have to have the patience and the passion and interest.
And that determination that I'm going to make this thing fly.
Right, instead of just throwing it away and going on.
So, right, exactly.
So I try to emphasize that aspect, of character also.
Surely.
To continue with something, don't give up, don't quit, but make it better.
Another thing for the students to learn and to help them mature.
Right. If you look at the next photo,
okay.
Part of the program also involves bringing in experts in the career field of aviation. In this case here, we have somebody from the Civil Air Patrol who I work with quite well with, and he's busy showing students how you map a route. So there's a navigation map there, and he's demonstrating how you plan a route from one town to the next using some of the details that would be on the highly detailed aviation map. So, but that's one example. I bring in different pilots. I have commercial pilots. I have private pilots that will come in. I have mechanics. I have airplane salespeople. I have aviation managers, such as the Groton Airport manager, who will come in and talk to the students about how do you manage an airport.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Engineers. So there's a variety of people that we bring in that will share their experiences. One year we had a model maker come in who showed some of the beautiful models that he had made. So just trying to get the students engaged, interested, and excited about the possibilities, not just to be a pilot, although that's a good start. Many of the students come thinking that's what they want to be, and maybe that will happen, but things happen along life,
Well, that and what you're saying is you're teaching and showing these students that there's a lot more to aviation than just being a pilot. You can be an engineer, you can be a manager, there's many other aspects of aviation besides just being a pilot.
Exactly, and that's why this program is called Aviation Career Education. So we focus on what are the options available to students. They might be interested in engineering and using computers. Maybe that's their thing.
Sure.
So that's an example of that. If we go to the next photo, we're around airplanes quite a lot. We're in airplanes. We're all around them. We see all kinds of airplanes. We have a great spot. We're located, at the Groton New London Airport, but more specifically, one of the tenants of the airport is Mystic Jet Center, and they have very generously offered us space to have our holdout camp, and we have a great window view of the airstrip, the runway, the taxiway, and so on. So anything coming in, and you never know who's flying in or flying out. We see that all the time, and every time we hear some noise, something's coming, the kids run to the window to see what's coming in now.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So you just never know what's coming.
So it's more, again, it's more than just a classroom. You're really experiencing the real airport in action.
Exactly. And many of the pilots that we've met have been very kind about inviting the students to come close up, take a look at things, even go in them. In this example here, the students are in one of the executive jets.
Oh, how exciting.
Parked there, and they get to sit in the cockpit and actually take a look at that glass display.
That's very exciting for a kid that age. I would have been beyond the moon if they had that when I was a kid.
Sure. I mean, the rest of the group at the moment is sitting in the comfortable leather seats at the back of the executive jet there, waiting their turn.
Okay, so they're experiencing what it's like to be the pilot and the customer.
Sure. And as I said, you never know who's going to be landing. A couple of years ago, a float plane from New York came in.
Oh, wow.
And I went over to talk to the pilot and asked if he has a few minutes to talk with the students. And sure enough, he did. So we brought the students over so we could get an example of what a float plane pilot would be like. And to tell you another exciting thing, a few years ago, the vice president's plane came in. And that was really exciting. I saw 2 black SUVs coming in escorted by state police. And I didn't know what was going to be happening. And all of a sudden, in flies United States of America plane. It lands and takes the passenger away someplace.
Yeah.
And the pilot comes up to me and says, "Would you like to bring the students on the plane?"
Oh,
in the cockpit of the plane.
You're kidding,
Unbelievable.
Really?
I mean, that will never happen again.
Oh my God, what an opportunity. That must have been exciting for not just the students, but for yourself too.
Definitely, it was.
Yeah, definitely.
When they came down the steps, I told them, to wave.
Yeah.
But yes.
That's a rare opportunity.
So every summer something happens, you just don't know what's going to be going on there.
Yeah.
So we're around planes, we're in planes, in the hangars, quite a lot, different types of planes. If we look at the next photo, one of the, actually I should say the highlight, of course, is the end of the week when the kids actually get a chance to fly in a plane.
Wow.
There's a pilot flight school at the airport. It's called Coastal Air, Inc. And the owner and president of that went through an ACE program when he was a youngster. And so because of that, he offers very generously to give back, flights to the kids. And he offers his pilots and his planes and his fuel. And the kids go up for about a 20-minute ride over the coast of Connecticut.
Oh my gosh.
Once in a while, they'll get a chance to hold on to the wheel.
Oh, that's really over the moon now. That's really exciting.
So that's quite exciting, and that was a big thrill.
Oh my gosh.
Aside from that, there are many other activities. I told you about bringing in aviation professionals. I told you about making models.
Yeah.
We also tour aerospace facilities around the state. We'll go up into the air traffic control towers around the state. In the past, we've been at the top of the Bradley Air Traffic Control Tower, the Groton one. We've been to some of the National Guard headquarters. We've seen how helicopters are being fixed and repaired, the Black Hawk helicopters especially, over at the Groton Airport.
That's right, because there's a facility right here in Groton that does...
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
We've been to Pratt & Whitney to take a close look at engines and find out how engines work. So there's a variety of tours that we do around the state. Last year we met the chief engineer of the Bradley Airport, who was telling us some of the changes that are happening at Bradley. And at the moment they're very busy updating all the bathrooms at the Bradley Airport. That was in the plans. So.
Sure, okay.
But, and they were changing some of the runways. They were taking away some runway. You talked about, the interference of trees with, pilot sightings, for landing. So they have to talk to some homeowners about cutting down certain trees to make sure there's good visibility for landing.
Okay.
So
certainly.
Once again, it was very interesting to meet that professional who's involved with that. So in addition, we also use flight simulators. So putting it all together, all the things that we've learned about how airplanes fly, the kids get a chance to sit and use flight simulators to practice some of the skills before they actually go up into a real airplane.
And all of this is happening in 1 week.
1 week, yes,
Wow,
indeed.
that's a lot of fun
We're
stuff.
we're busy. And I should say that,
How exciting for those kids.
you can't leave out drones nowadays because that's the talk of the town. And
Yeah.
so we experience drones. They fly a lot like airplanes. And we use small mini drones, and we usually fly them indoors so that we don't need to have it registered, because there are certain requirements for drones about being less than 400 feet in altitude and so on.
And you can't fly them within so many miles of an
airport, 5 miles of an airport,
Yeah.
and so on. You can't fly over stadiums and sports events. And so there's a lot of rules, and we'll talk about some of those with the kids.
Yeah, but you have the facility of the hangar space, I guess, which is that sort of the environment that you'll fly these? Or?
Unfortunately not,
not
because the planes are stored there.
Oh, okay. So
If the hangar was empty, we could.
okay.
But usually, they're parked there. However, we do have access to the auditorium at the Groton Municipal Building.
Oh, all right. There you go.
They finally allowed us that space.
Oh, that's good.
So we go there. Kids get T-shirts, and it has the logo on it. And you can see the logo,
Yep,
right
behind
back
us
there.
in this. Yep.
And lunches are included, and snacks and drinks are included throughout the week. And during our break time, during our lunches and after lunches, everything is aviation related. So if you hand me that a moment.
Mm-hmm.
This is a little game. It's a little like a tiddlywinks I guess, but it's called Barnstormer. And this teaches us, once again, about early history. Just after World War I, there were a lot of extra airplanes available. And so there wasn't a whole lot of business, so a lot of pilots took on those airplanes, and they had entertainment where they'd fly to various farm fields around.
Oh,
and
okay. Yep.
people would be hired to do wing walking and all kinds of crazy,
Yeah. Scary.
playing tennis and dancing on a wing,
Oh, wow.
crazy kinds of things, and they'd land
Yeah.
at a farm field. But it was a big event for the general public in the different communities. They'd come out with their families, to watch the airplanes, because airplanes were pretty novel
I was
way
going
back
to say,
then.
keeping in mind that to see an airplane sometimes back then was like a life-changing experience.
Right, and I'm sure it changed many young people's ideas too about their future. But anyway, it was called barnstorming, and so we talk about that history, and then we spend a little time after lunch, playing a game such as that.
You get to play with this game too, and have
Certainly,
fun?
right.
Oh,
It's kind of a tiddlywink type game, but it deals with the history, and that's just part of our week-long program. We'll have jigsaw puzzles that may involve aviation-related activities and images.
Darn, I wish I was 6 years old again.
Well, you can come and volunteer anytime. I'm always looking for volunteers.
Always looking for volunteers.
Love aviation and love kids and love education, and would be happy to come and help out, for a day or two.
Okay, all right. So there is an opportunity for volunteers to come.
Certainly, right.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And then they'll be around the airplanes
and
also.
there's they can contact you there with we have your email address and your website.
Right, the website would have photos from last summer,
Okay.
further details about the program, and also all the registration materials that you would need to download and send in if you're interested.
All right.
So I encourage people, don't wait too long, because signups are going really well so far, a lot of early signups, and I do take small class sizes.
That was the next thing I was going to ask you is you're already booking up for these classes this year, but there is space left, so
There is some space left, right.
get right on it, parents, kids. Hound your parents. You want to do this.
Right, you don't want to be disappointed because we're filled up and you missed the opportunity.
Yeah. But you'll hopefully, if that does happen, you'll be back again next year.
If all goes well, I will. I'm having a great time, just like the kids.
God, what do they say? God willing, and the dam don't break, or whatever that old saying is. I never get it right, but
Certainly.
That's exciting. That's very exciting.
So I don't have particular schedules, set yet, but I've been in contact with a number of folks already, setting up some of the tours perhaps.
Oh, sure.
And some of the visitors who will be chatting with us.
Yeah, I'm sure that's something that really can't be planned too far in advance because of people's schedules and all that, and then you've got to fine tune, where you can go when and who's going to come in to talk when,
Right,
and that kind of
especially if
thing.
you have a commercial pilot from Delta or American coming in.
Yeah.
They never know. They have to be on call.
Sure.
And they don't know, until almost the last minute if they're available or not.
Yep.
So we keep our fingers crossed for that, and we keep our fingers crossed for good weather.
Oh, well, we'll guarantee that you're going to have good weather, good flying weather, but that's very exciting. So we're winding down with time. Is there anything that I haven't asked you or that you'd like to talk about related to this program? Any other?
I think we've covered it all.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I'm having a great time doing it. It's, as I say, the 7th season already. But I learn a whole lot from the kids. The kids are highly engaged. I've had good reviews, every one of the 6 previous years. And a number of people return for a second or third year.
Oh, that's great.
So don't wait. Sign up. Come on and join us.
Sign up and do it now and experience. I'd love to do this. I'm not going to throw it on you, but
it is a unique camp. It's only one.
The kid in me wants to just play with all these things. Well, Stuart, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing this wonderful program with our viewers. And I certainly wish you all the best, and I'm sure you're going to be having a very busy couple of weeks coming up this summer.
Indeed, I will.
And again, thank you for what you do, and I think this is a wonderful program, and I really encourage all the parents and the kids out there that are listening to contact you right away and get signed up and have an experience that'll just be something totally unique and have a real blast. So
yes, thank you for inviting me. There's no camp like that around in the state.
I don't think certainly there isn't, and it's as I said, it's a totally very unique opportunity for parents to have this education experience for their kids, and the kids to have a whole lot of fun on something like this.
Right,
so.
and a great opportunity for the students in their resume.
Yeah,
as they go on
absolutely.
to other activities and other things in their life.
Well, again, thank you so much for being on the show today. Thank my viewers for tuning in to Around the Town with Mark. I just want to make a quick mention that I am still working at Art on Groton Bank and Groton Bank Day. This year it's going to be Saturday, June 8th, 10 to 4. And that's the area by Thames Street and the Bill Memorial Library, where we have an outdoor art festival. And there's just going to be all kinds of fun activities. All the museum houses are going to be open and free to tour. So look for that and put that on your schedule this summer. And again, thank you for tuning in today. We appreciate your viewing, and we'll see you again on Round Time with Mark very soon.